Hello, brother.
Hello, brother. How are you?
Fine, bro. How are you?
I'm also good. Thanks. हिंदी आती है आपको? हिंदी.
हिंदी मालूम नहीं मुझे.
Okay.
Only English, yeah.
From where you are?
Sorry, sorry, bro.
You are from India.
Yeah, yeah. I'm from India.
So which language do you speak?
Yeah, I will speak Tamil and my native is Tamil, so that I speak Tamil and English only.
Oh, good, good. Okay, fine. No worries. We can also talk in English. It's fine. So,
Yeah, yeah.
tell me
So,
something about
thank you.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, bro. Like, I reach out many people like that to, like, for that many doubts is that, but they're not willing to, like that. They like people you, so that I will be gratitude for that. So thank you very much. So first of all, so let me introduce myself. Actually, I will be my name is Manikandan. So I will be doing SEO for like past 3 years, and like for myself, I will be like traditional to semantic SEO. I learning something, but I did not. Apply that is my problem actually, like in traditional SEO I am giving that leads on the, like what are the things which will, normal things is will be that I will be giving that to my clients and like that, but I want to do that for more like a core framework in my approach. But I tried many times. I have a course also on the like that videos also, but I did not learn anything. But maybe like it will be difficult to understand for me, so that is my problem actually. Like I have a path is that like there is a what is the central entity, like what are the five step process is there. So once that I found at that, so that this will be my problem also, how we can find that, and actually like in how we can start with that proper topical map and send semantic content network, and how we can apply that. That is my problem actually. It will be including all niches also.
Okay. So basically, you know about like traditional SEO. You already like you are working and you are, let's say, delivering results, but you want to enhance your skills and let's say you want to maximize the output you are delivering to your client, so which is good.
Yeah.
So the first thing that normally let's say for every person who, let's say, who is willing to learn, let's say, semantic issue, or let's say the framework of Koray. So basically Koray framework is like cherry on the cake. If you know about the, if you don't know about SEO, you directly come to, let's say, the Koray framework, you will be like, you will be like lost, like what I am doing. Let's say if you don't know about title, if you don't know about, let's say, how to do keyword research, if you don't know about technical SEO, so how you can do
Mm.
the advanced stuff? Because the first thing, the basics are, you should know about the basics. Okay. So
Yeah.
tell me like what problems you are facing, like let's say which specific problem. Let's say if
Like I will be facing like to creating that two things actually, like creating the topical map. If I given that I have already know what site is that. So example, I have a local site maybe, like okay. So if there is any local site is there, right? So in that local site I have like what are the areas I need to cover, and what are the like to getting leads or calls from that. So I have a site, okay. So in that, if like that, how I can create that actually like topical map from that, and what are the how to do keyword research for the topical map. And once done that, how I can for every like topic, right? So that topic, how I can create a semantic content brief also. So that is my actually I will be struggling with that. So even though I will be there done past many things also, but I will be wrong also actually. So some of that tried once 70 content brief, but it I did not get any result from that. Just it normal like content brief. It will be, I'm not getting lead traffic also. I did it, it's will not create a like keywords, discover any keywords also. So I will be disappointed than that. So again I tried many times, but it will be not fulfill myself. So basically I don't understand how it can be works, like on that topical map like that it will be came. That is my problem.
okay. So thanks for the clarification. So the first and the most important thing that I would say to you that
Mm.
do not be a, let's say, perfectionist. Okay, so the
Okay.
first thing in SEO, you don't need to have a, you don't need to be a perfectionist. Let's say if you can rank your website, if you rank your client
Mm,
website by just content, do it.
mm,
If you don't have, let's say, the
mm,
budget of, let's say, technical SEO, let's say off page SEO, or let's say development
mm,
type of things, let's say social media type of things, but do it
mm,
with the, let's say, if you have, let's say, less budget, so try to optimize with the resources you have. So don't try to become a perfectionist. Let's say if a client lands to you and he or she
mm,
said that, let's say, my this is my website and I want to, let's say, rank for these keywords, or let's say this is my topic. So don't create, let's say, a
mm,
topical map of 200 articles, let's
mm,
say. Also start social media, because literally some clients have very like low budget and they want results faster. So the first thing will be like,
mm,
don't be a perfectionist. Try to utilize the resources you have, and let's say with the limited budget, because normally in the start you don't have, let's say, high paying clients, and they don't, maybe they won't trust you for, let's say, a longer project. So first they try to say that, let's say, if you give me some results or leads, so that is fine. And the most important thing is that if you can give leads them based on, let's say, on technical issue, on, let's say, semantic issue, or let's say on just, let's say, page rank, let's say backlinks, it is fine, because at the end client only needs uh, leads, let's say, business. But
yeah.
the most important thing is that do not let's say sell them, like do not sell, let's say, shortcut thing. Let's say if you, let's say, do some, let's say, some quick manipulations of the Google and client gets lead, but at the end, let's say, after 2 3 6 months, the business gets down, so that is not a good thing. So for that we are using, let's say, the topical map and, let's say, the Koray framework and, let's say, semantic SEO methodologies. So for the topical
Mm,
map creation, maybe you already know about the 5 components.
yeah.
Okay, so let me, let's say, make it more clear for you. The first one is source context. Second one is
Oh,
central entity,
okay.
central search intent, core section, and we have outer section. So do not try to overcomplicate these things. Just let's say understanding that, let's say, traditional SEO type of thing. Let's say
Mm,
5 components of a topical map. So source context mean like,
okay.
let's say, how do you make money? Let's say simply your business. How do you make money? Because let's say if you are writing article, it means that you have buy the domain, you have invested in the hosting, you are investing in the writer, you are designing the images, you have running social media. So you are not doing it
Mm,
for free. You need some, let's say, output from these investments. So this is called your business. So it can be like, let's say, in, let's say, in some blogging area, it can be ads, it can be, let's say, affiliate marketing, it can be, let's say, service. You are, let's say, trying to sell some marketing services, or let's say some in, let's say, it can be a course, it can be, let's say, a newsletter, it can be, let's say, a product you are selling, let's say, e-commerce type. There are many intents. Okay, so it can be also, let's say, a local. So it is also local SEO services also come in, let's say, in the service niche. Then we have the central entity.
oh,
Okay, so the most important thing, like I will say here, that if you watch the course, so I think in the first 3 lecture, I think in the second, third lecture, Corey said that in the past 2 years I have seen many topical maps, but all of them are conceptual maps. So first of all, know about what is conceptual map and topical map, and forget
okay.
about my spelling mistake because I am writing a little bit
It will
slow.
be
So
fine. Sure,
topical
sure,
map,
it will be fine.
yeah. So conceptual map is based on, let's say, you just think, like, let's say, for example, give me a topic, let's say, random word, let's say.
I will give the like, actually I will be preschool maybe for targeting. So like just you can think like that. So preschool maybe that is on niche actually.
What is
Mm.
preschool? This one?
Yeah.
What is this? Sorry, I don't know about this one. Can you explain
No,
me?
actually like kindergarten schools maybe. So actually like I have a client actually like I will be trying the topical map for that business. Actually like they are having that local business actually. So in that there is a preschool means like children's school, children's kindergarten school, daycare.
You mean KG? Like
Yeah, KG school,
from class one to,
kindergarten and
from class one to, I think, class three, four, I think.
yeah, yeah, below plus one like that, pre
Oh,
KG. Yeah,
nursery,
yeah,
prep, and I think some play.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
nursery and primary like that, that's why.
Okay, so they are admitting the student like from let's say only let's say the KG 1.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so first of all, I am new to the topic, so uh,
No,
first
no,
of
no,
all,
no. Sorry, I suggested only. Just you can whatever that you topic know that you start with that. I will change into that my topic actually. So
okay,
for
okay,
that, it will be fine. It will be any topic.
okay. So let's try to let's say do it this, but the thing
Mm,
I was explaining here is that uh, you
mm,
should know about the conceptual map and the topical map. Let's say the framework. Let's say the topical map concept is this. Let's say invented by Koray. So he actually knows that what does it mean and how to create it. So basically, in the market, let's say many people they just create a conceptual map. What is the conceptual map?
oh,
They just go to let's say ChatGPT. Let's say they just go
mm,
to any let's say anything. Let's say any let's say LLMs or let's say any book or let's say any resource from the Google, and they're trying to
mm,
extract all the things about the school and let's
mm,
say about the topic, but that
mm.
doesn't come from the queries. Okay, so
Okay.
if your map is not according to your source context, let's say according to these let's say uh, five components and
Right,
according to the
let's see.
queries, so I will say that
Mm,
five components plus queries mean like let's say keywords in simply words in traditional SEO. So basically the five component include the queries, because when you talk about so incidental entity, so it come from the queries, not from concept. Let's say you don't need to conceptualize anything. Central search, intent, core section, outer section. So do not create anything by your own. So let's say according to my mind this is more important. No, according to queries
mm.
it will be important, according to queries it will not be important. Okay, so the first most important
Okay.
thing is that everything, each and everything come from the query. I think you know about there is a concept
Query
query
semantics.
semantics. Okay, which
Yeah.
mean that maybe there are two words that are similar, that are not
Mm,
similar, but in queries that mean similar. For example, let's say buy and sell. Okay, so basically
mm.
these are opposite. Okay, let's say
Okay.
buy
Yeah.
mean that I want to let's say I want to let's say take some things from let's say from X person to me, and sell mean from me
Mm,
to X person. So it's mean that the direction is opposite. But normally if you search the let's say buy let's say Apple MacBook, or let's say sell Apple MacBook, let's say, or let's say buy house or sell house, let's search it here, buy house, and let's say sell house. Okay, so let's say on the buy
mm.
house we have let's say UK. So maybe there will be like some sometimes.
Okay. I have a doubt is that can I ask any?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, actually, like in Korea's framework, like is that we need to check with that keyword difficulty, volume, that things are like that. We can start by with topics only.
Okay, so the first thing is that volume is the most important thing in the Core framework. So because what is mean by volume, like let's say if a query has let's say 10,000 volume, if a query has 10 volume, so what does it mean?
Yeah,
So the volume means the importance. How? Because let's say
importance.
if
Yeah.
for example if 10 people are searching for a topic, let's say if 10 people are searching for let's say uh, for selling house. Okay, but if
Mm,
10,000 people are searching for buying house, which means the demand is more high. And if you understand a Google a little bit, so Google is at the end built for the users, not for the SEOs. Let's say for me, like me and you, or let's say digital marketer. At the end, the Google main business is like serving the user. Okay, and the
yeah.
business model of Google is like ads, but they're also serving the user that how to satisfy the users. Because if they are not satisfying the users, so what will the user do? Either they will go to Microsoft Edge, or let's say Bing. Let's say they will go to ChatGPT, or let's say Copilot, or let's say some Yandex, or let's say Firefox. Because if I cannot find answer on Google, definitely I will try ChatGPT, or let's say any other thing. So that is the main let's say fear that Google do not want to create for the user. Because if user cannot find answer on Google, the user will specifically go to let's say its competitor, let's say Bing or ChatGPT or something else. So
Mm,
volume is the most important thing, because if something has a good search volume, it's mean that that is more important for the Google, because many people are searching. So Google have to let's say create an index. Index mean like this is an index. Let's say if I search for example what is what is catfishing, let's say. So for example, this
mm,
keyword is searched, let's say 10,000 per month, and let's say in United Kingdom. So you can see that
mm,
catfishing, there is an article, there is an article, there is an article, every person has created an article. Okay, but let's say if I write some let's say how to get a home in UK with, let's say, 100 I think pound in, let's say, London with, let's say, swimming pool. For example, this is a query. Okay, this is also my query,
mm,
but no one searches for it. Okay, let's search it.
mm,
So again, holiday rentals with pools.
mm,
Maybe this has, let's say, 10 search volume, but this has, let's say, 10,000 search volume. It means that this is the most, this is not too much important, and this is too much important,
mm,
which means that it can give you, let's say, if it has 10,000 volume, it can give you, like, let's say, 10,000 to 20,000 traffic. But this article can give you only, let's say, maximum, let's say, 10 to 15 clicks on the site.
mm.
So the volume is most important thing. The next thing is the query
Oh,
difficulty. You understand that?
mm. Yeah, yeah, core difficulty.
Okay, so next we are talking about keyword difficulty, or let's say query difficulty. So keyword difficulty is
So basically, in that normal traditional SEO, we will go with 1 to 30 low DR, and it will be like, so start with that low DR and start with that content, making that content and publish that. So they will be ranking that is the traditional SEO. In Chorus, it will be different. Maybe like in DR 60 also and DR 90 also, we need to keep that right. So or else it will be anything.
yeah. So volume. Then next we have keyword
All
difficulty.
difficulty.
So keyword difficulty is basically a concept that is invented, let's say, a concept that is popularized by the SEO tool like SEMrush, Ahrefs, let's say Moz keyword difficulty,
Mm,
and let's say some other SEO tools. But you need to understand how the metric work. Let's say how keyword difficulty is, let's say, concept is being created by the tools. So basically, let's say this is a keyword. Let's say sell house, or let's say buy house, or let's say what is let's say what is cat fishing. Okay, so what SEO tool try to do is that they try to search this keyword, and they say that, let's say, Wikipedia is ranking, so it has, let's say, very high search volume. Sorry, it has a
yeah,
high, very, let's say, brand
a
power.
difficulty.
This is also is a very
Mm,
big brand. This is also very big brand. So you can see that, let's say, all big brands are ranking here. Malware bytes, this one, which mean that the difficulty is
mm,
very high, because normally uh, Google is like pushing the, let's say, big brands for this query. It means that this query is too difficult to rank, because if you want to outrank Wikipedia, so you cannot outrank Wikipedia with just one article. You cannot outrank this one, you cannot outrank this one. So they are saying that, oh, this query is very difficult. But in actual, Google does not use the query difficulty, yeah, keyword difficulty. The main thing is that I said earlier, say, end goal of Google is to satisfy the user. Okay, so if you
yeah.
can satisfy the user, so Google, again, there are three main pillars of SEO. One is, let's say, semantics. Second one is technical SEO,
Okay.
and third one is brand power. Let's say branding. Okay, which includes, say, page rank, or let's say backlinks, etc. So semantics mean, like,
Mm,
let's say you are writing about an article. Okay, so
mm,
let's what is cancer addiction. So right now I don't have my SEO tools here, but let's say what is cancer addiction. Okay, so for example, this is an article, addictioncenter.com. So it is a very big brand. Okay, it is a very huge brand,
mm,
addiction center. So you can see that they have given only less information here, like this one,
mm,
and they are ranking at the top in the UK. Why?
mm,
Because it is a very huge website, which means that if I want to outrank this website, I have three things. First, I have technical SEO. Okay, next I have, let's say, branding, and let's say last I have, let's say, semantics. Semantics simply mean like on page SEO, like information. So if I want to outrank this website for cancer addiction, for, let's say, alcohol addiction, for any addiction, for, let's say, for any topic, so I have to create a too detailed article with more information. So let's say if it is ranking it, if it is writing, let's say 2000 words, I will write at least, let's say, 6800 8000 words, but not just the words. Each and everything will be informative and with high authority, and I will use expert authors, all these things. Then I can outrank this article with, let's say, with on page SEO. But as the topic is YMYL, so I need expert authors plus I need a little bit backlinks. So that's the main thing about keyword difficulty. So let's say SEO tool can see that, let's say, for cancer reduction you cannot rank because it is a keyword difficulty 99, but in actually Google consider a topics that is called information gap. If let's say all, for example, what is cancer addiction, and all these websites are giving, let's say, 20 facts. Okay, for example, let me, what is cancer addiction? Okay, and let's say page 1 of, let's say, SERP. Okay, they are giving, let's say, if you combine all them thing, they are they are giving, let's say, 100 facts. Let's say 10 websites are giving overall 100 facts. Okay, but if you
Okay.
create one article, let's say one
Hmm.
article, and that is giving, let's say, 400 facts in one article.
Hmm.
So what do you think,
Hmm.
which is preferred more by the Google? I, let's say, 10 websites each, let's say some are giving, let's say, 10 facts, some are giving, let's say, 20, 15, 35, 18, and all the 10 pages are giving 100 facts, and in one page you are giving 400 facts. So at the end Google will
Yeah,
like this
let's
one.
take 400.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
400 bucks.
yeah, but the journey doesn't stop here, because if you just write one article and you like saying that, oh, I have written one article that is very detailed, very informative, so I will rank there.
Hmm.
No, that is not concept, because topical authority is equal to topical coverage, static, there is a static historical data, and divide by cost of retrieval. This is the fundamental, this is the formula given by the Koray, retrieval. Okay,
Okay.
so how you can create a topical authority? So the first thing is topical coverage, which means that you cannot outrank big website with just one article. You have to cover the topic from each and every angle, which means that, let's say, if you are writing about addiction,
Hmm.
okay, all right, so you have to write about, let's say, cancer addiction, you have to write about, let's say, alcohol addiction, let's say, types of alcohol addiction, how it is done, what are the benefits, what are the drawbacks, what are the, let's say, consequences, causes, symptoms, each and everything. And this each and everything will come from query, because if someone search for what
Hmm.
is alcohol addiction, you have to write about it. If someone
Hmm.
search for, let's say, what are the risks of alcohol addiction, you have to write about it. If someone say that what are the family issues caused by alcohol addiction, you have to write about it. So you cover the topic, which mean that, let's say, if you check the Koray case study, so he doesn't write, let's say, 20, 30 articles, he at least write, let's say, more than 200 articles. For example, if you go to strike money, you know about this website, strike.money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
strike that money.
yeah, this is an Indian this like website, Indian company, I think some stock related thing, this one.
Hmm.
But basically they have written like more than 400 articles. So that's the main, let's say, the changing the SEO culture, because in, let's say, traditional SEO, and let's say in Asian market, let's say, our client demand, let's say, thousands of, let's say, traffic on just 10 articles. So this is not the case. Okay, so do not think like that, that is, if I will just update 10 articles and I will get, let's say, 10,000 or 5,000 traffic. In big industries, in big industry there is a lot of competition, and if you don't have, let's say, backlink budget, so you have to invest more on the, let's say, on page, let's say, on the content level. So this website is, I think,
Okay.
400 plus articles, so, and 400 plus articles with semantics. So the thing here is that topical authority is covered by topical coverage, which means that you have to cover the topic in very detailed way. For example, if you come here,
Hmm.
and I think if I go to the blog section, something blog, yeah, stock market guide, fundamental
Hmm.
analysis, page not found. Okay, so these are all the articles, let's say, all articles. So you can see like 17, let's say, pagination type of things. So there are, let's say, a lot of
Hmm.
articles. So you
Hmm.
cannot expect ranking from, let's say, just one article. And if you come here, so again you can see that the let's say, the core type title, like, say, definition, purpose, and indicators. So each and every article is written, let's say, in a very detailed way by expert author, by following algorithmic SEO, let's say, writing rules. And these are the things, and you can see that links will be somewhere in the bottom. Okay, so first you cover the topic. Okay, So it's mean that doesn't mean that you just write 2 article, I'll say 3 article or 4 article, but it also doesn't mean that you have to write, let's say, 5,000 articles. The topical coverage depends upon your budget. Again, topical coverage depends upon your budget. If let's say your client has too much budget, you can, let's say, go up to 400 articles. But if you have less budget, okay, so you have to, again, there are uh, three things. One is vastness, you know about these things, depth and momentum. So vastness mean like,
No.
yeah, go wider. Depth mean go deeper, and momentum mean go faster. Okay, so we are in the just topical coverage area. Okay, so
Mm.
first thing, let's say if you are in, let's say, stock market, or let's say some this type of industry. So there is stock market, fundamental analysis, technical analysis, option trading. So these are, let's say, the broad things. So if you
Mm.
have the budgets, let's say, go wider. If you don't have the budget, go deeper, which means, let's say, cover each and everything about, let's say, fundamental analysis. What are the, let's say, the subtopic, what are the queries, let's say, fundamental analysis, qualitative analysis, quantitative analysis, let's say, economic indicators, inflation, etc, etc. So these are the subtopics, and you have to cover them in a very deep way. For example, if I will give a very simple example, if you try to rank for a laptop, okay, so let's say if you have budget, so let's say write about mouse, let's say write about, let's say, keyboard, sorry, keyboard, write about, let's say, CPU, etc type of things. But if you have less budget, try to write about mouse. So mouse, what is mouse, and I'll cover the mouse from each and every angle. Okay, so this is the second thing.
Mm.
And for momentum mean that go faster, which mean that do not write, let's say, 1 article per month. Okay, you have to
Mm.
be a little bit speed in a faster way, because if you are writing very slow, okay, so you are not in the search, let's say, search queue, let's say, the search engine will not give too much importance to you, because the website that are getting updated too much with unique information, with fresh information, with all these semantic guidelines. So you will be in the attention of the Google, like Google will prioritize you for these type of things. Okay, so this is for the topical coverage. You understand
Mm.
these things?
Yeah.
So topical coverage, again, it doesn't mean that you have to write 5,000 articles, let's say 500 articles. It depends upon the budget, and it depends upon the topic. If, let's say, if you are in a topic that is very very competitive and very very wide, very very deep, so again, it's your let's say, you have to cover it. It's your, let's say, majburi hai aapki. And let's say if you have a topic that is very shallow, let's say it is very, let's say, very, let's say, narrow topic, then you have to
Narrow
cover it
topic.
also. Yeah, so this is about the topical coverage. Now we have about the historical data. This is the main area that we are normally SEO people are confused, because let's say I write 400 articles for, let's say, strike that money. So
Mm.
this is a website I'm working on, and let's say I write 400, I'll say 200, I'll say 50 or 60 articles, but still I'm getting only 3 to 5 clicks. What can I do
Mm.
to uh, to rank higher? So this is the main thing that
Mm.
SEO, let's say, we SEO people always know that SEO takes time. So this is called historical data, which means that you cannot get the trust of the Google with just in just 2 to 3 months. Again, you know about the word that is called sandbox. You know about this one,
Sandbox.
sandbox. So sandbox is a term
Yeah.
that is used by SEO person, that Google is not giving priority to new website, because they are putting them in, let's say, 4 to 6 months. They are in a gray area, that they
Mm.
don't want to get them the first position, because Google needs some trust from them. So this again
Mm.
confirmed by the Google API leaks, the leaks that was happened in, I think, 1 2 years ago nearly. So in that they uh, this term was, let's say, Google denied that they do not have a sandbox period. So what is a sandbox period? For example, if I want to rank for, let's say for keywords like, let's say, fundamental analysis, or let's say these type of keywords. So at the first time, let's say in the start when I just publish the article, I will not be in the top 10, because Google does not trust me. My website is new, I have no, let's say, backlinks, or let's say I have no trust of the user. So first Google will give me, let's say, 1 to 3 clicks, let's say, and then from the click satisfaction, and let's say from the user interaction, and let's say after some time, when I publish more and more article and I get more historical data. Historical data, I mean traffic, user traffic. Let's say you are ranking in the, let's say, in this where you are ranking, let's say, somewhere in the this one you are ranking somewhere, let's say, this where. So all these things all these things are collected by the Google. Okay, and let's say after the core
Mm.
update you can get some rankings higher in the future. So historical data is gathered slowly, and after the Google gets all the historical data. Okay, so that is multiplied with your topical coverage. Okay, so I think it would be a little confusing for you, but I will, let's say, let make it more simple. Topical authority means topical coverage, which means that you cover a topic in a very detailed way, in a more comprehensive way from the competitors, which means that do not write gibberish content, do not write fluff content, cover more facts, write unique information, write expert information that is not mainly available on the web. So for that you don't need ChatGPT and these type of things. You need expert writers that are niche specific expert. So that is called the topical coverage. Again, in the topical coverage we have three things. Again, based on your budget. And historical data. Historical data means that you are getting, let's say, 10 to 15 clicks a day, but you have written 400 articles, which, like, you deserve, let's
Mm.
say, 200 or let's say 300 clicks per day, but you will not get them in one day, unless in 1 month. You need to spend some time. So that is called historical data, right?
Okay.
Okay, and the last one is divided by cost of retrieval. This is also the most important thing, because if your website is too costly for the Google to understand, so
Mm.
that is also an issue. Because let's say if you have a website, you are getting these things or not. Whenever in the middle you have some question or some doubts, please stop me there and ask question, because I think if you are not asking question, I think that I assume that you are understanding these things. So feel free to ask me
Yeah,
any
yeah, I
question.
will understand because I watched the course, right, 2 3 times I watched, but I know that these terms actually, but I did not understand how it can be use that, and when it comes to practical, that is I fully confused. So
Okay,
I know that course actually, like fully, like what are that from that title tag and meta description, and how they created, but how they create, and how to research, and how to get this, and how to create a content. Now that is my problem. So these are words are understand actually. So you could go ahead. So I didn't
okay.
stop.
So last is about cost of retrieval. So cost of
Mm.
retrieval means simply, like, let's say in your content, okay, let's say your technical SEO,
Mm.
because it's if your website is very, let's say, very costly for Google to understand, so that is also an issue. Because if you are writing the
Mm.
content, let's say, in a very difficult way, you are not following the proper sentence structure, your website is technically wrong, let's say you have server issues, your servers, your page speed is very high, let's say you have a very high response rate from the server, from, let's say, from the user side, so that is also an issue. Okay, so this is
Okay.
basically a topical authority. So now
Mm.
we are writing about, let's say, we will talk about the 5 components of topical map. So essential entity. So again, you understand all these things, so I can go forward.
So I have that information retrieval. What is that? So cost of retrieval.
Yeah.
So is that okay? Yeah, that content and technical is not available, so that it will be cost of retrieval. So can you explain that the cost of retrieval and the information retrieval difference?
Okay, cost of retrieval basically mean that you have, let's say, written an article.
Mm.
Okay, let's say this cost of retrieval, but let's say you are not writing in a very machine friendly way, because if you know about the, let's say, Koray algorithmic authorship rules, that how to write content,
Mm.
so that is called cost of
Mm.
retrieval. For example, if I write a sentence, a very simple sentence, for example, I say that Amit likes, let's say, Ganesh because he is intelligent. Is this sentence
Mm.
right grammatically?
Myth likes Ganesh. No, because he is intelligent. Maybe some grammatical mistakes is there. Maybe
What is the grammatical mistake? Can you explain?
like any conjunction or word is missing. I think likes after that there is one word missing, and because he is intelligent. That is past tense. Maybe future like that. That is missing.
Yeah,
That is.
grammatically is right, but semantically it
Uh,
is not right, because when I say Amit like Ganesh, so Amit is also a male and Ganesh is also male, which means that a boy likes boy. Okay, because he is
hmm,
intelligent. So can you
hmm.
let's say tell that who is intelligent, Amit or Ganesh?
So I we don't. They did not mention like that is.
Yeah,
like confusing. Yeah.
So this is basically again cost of retrieval, because when you write these type of sentences, so which mean
Hmm.
that, let's say, who is he? So search engine, let's say, or the machine will
Hmm.
spend time, spend money, spend, let's say, resource, that why this, let's say, this one is not, why, who is the intelligent one? Okay, let's say I say,
Okay.
let's say girl. I don't know about
Hmm.
girl's name properly in India. So let's say Amit like girl because he's intelligent. So normally he means that it is Amit. When I say she, which means that girl.
Hmm.
So this is not confusing. So basically that is called cost
Okay.
of retrieval. So cost of retrieval just doesn't mean technical issue. It also comes in the content, because if you are writing too lengthy sentence, for example, if this is your one sentence, for example, just assume,
Hmm.
so this is also cost of
Hmm.
retrieval for the Google. It's, it's too high. And also at the end,
Hmm.
the Google algorithms are made for the user. So if Google cannot
Hmm.
understand them, so if Google cannot understand them, they will not try to understand it. What is this topic about? So they will not present your topic to the user, because if Google is not understanding, how they will present your topic to the user. So again, our first priority is understanding the Google algorithms and satisfying the Google algorithms, and then if Google can understand, they will definitely present all these things to the user. Okay, so this was about cost of retrieval. So a very basic example about this one. Okay,
Sure. Sure. I understand. Fully understand.
okay, thank you. Next we have, let's say, five components of topical main. So first we have source context, you understand it. Then we have central entity. So do not try to overcomplicate these things. So let's say in the course you have seen, let's say, a very let's say complex definition of central entity. So central entity, what is
Yeah.
central entity? So first of all,
So central entities.
mhm,
Hmm.
yeah, if you
So
have
what are
something,
the main entity about that? Speaking about that site, that is maybe a central. So like that, if you're taking like that, I'm selling like anything like juice shops. The juice is a like main entity like that.
okay,
That
bilkul,
is a central entity.
yeah, yeah, bilkul. So we have two type of thing. One is entity and we have entity type. So entity
Hmm.
basically I call it noun. So noun can be, let's say, a place of a noun of let's say noun can be a name of person, place, thing, or let's say concept, which means that noun can
Hmm.
be a name of place,
Hmm.
person, thing, or let's say concept. For example, concept means that non-living thing. For example, if I say energy, so energy is not
Hmm.
a place, energy is not a person, energy is not a thing, but energy is a concept. For example, I say politics.
Hmm.
So politics is a concept. For example, if I say, let's say, India, so India is a place. For example, if I say Elon Musk, so it is a name of person.
Hmm.
If, for example, I say, let's say, chair, so it is like a thing. Okay, so
Hmm.
this is called entity. And we have entity type. Entity type means the type of, let's say,
Type of entities.
entity. For
Hmm.
example, if I say energy,
Locations.
so energy is basically a concept. This is the type of
Okay.
entity. For example, if I say
Hmm.
India, so it is a place, or let's say it's a location type entity.
Place.
For example, if I say
Hmm.
Elon Musk, so it is a person, and in person it is a,
Hmm.
let's say influential influencer, I
Hmm.
say physics type of person, something like that. So this is the entity type. So what is the central entity? So again, you have to check all the queries, and in the queries, the most uh, prominent, let's say the most appearing one entity type will be your central entity. Okay, understand this thing a little bit. Let's say I should repeat it. You have to check all the queries, all, let's say, all the keywords. Okay, let's say all the topics,
Okay.
and in all those
Hmm.
topics, what is the main entity type that is repeating again and again? So that will be your central entity. Okay,
Okay, that is entity type is what is just repeating in that the term. So that is then central entity.
yeah, you have to check all
Okay,
the
fine.
keywords, all, let's say, keywords from the SEO tool, keyword from, let's say, all the competitors they are ranking, and you have to check all these things, and you have to find out what is the most appearing one entity type that is let's say appearing, that is
So
present
you're
in those
asking
topics.
about entity or entity type. That is confusing. That is so entity means like if there is a Elon Musk is entity. Okay,
Okay,
so that is entity type is person. So
okay,
we need to see on that person, and that is an entity type. That is right.
yeah.
So if there is a business, how can like we can explain? So any example?
Can you give me an example? Let's say, what is the, let's say, give me example of a source context so I can do this thing. But again, as a disclaimer, I'm saying you that do not do these things conceptually, because at the start I said that Do not
mm,
create a conceptual map, because do not think from your mind. Think from the
mm.
think from the queries, think from the keywords, think from the
Okay.
search in your point of view. So let's say we don't have, let's say, too much time for diving into the query. So let's say give me an example, and
Mm.
I will say you that this can be a central entity.
Okay. Uh, Maybe you're asking that central entity you're giving anything, right?
You let's say give me example of a business. Let's say if we come here, let's say cash hesitate. Let's say if I come here,
Uh, Software,
okay, software, which means that, let's say,
software.
okay, so you have to, let's say, so let's say if you are selling a software, okay,
Mm.
so this is a very good example. Let's say you are selling a software. So selling a software is too broad. So you are selling which type of thing? Let's say you are selling YouTube. Let's say
No, like I'm training. Like if there is some selling that software training, like a course or anything, how it can be like just let's say like that. Like I'm teaching software training. That is selling. I'm
so. Let's say you are selling software training, which means that how to use this software. I
mm.
think then.
like HTML training, like CSS
Oh yeah,
training,
yeah.
like
Let's say for example
kind
front
of
end
thing. Front
front
end,
end. Let's say
back end development training. Mm.
website. Let's say I think designing
Mm.
course. For example, this is your, let's say,
Mm.
source context. Now let's say
Mm.
create a topical map for this one. This is a very interesting one. So
Mm.
let's say, so your source context. Okay, your source context, let's say selling course. Okay,
Mm.
next one is your, let's say, central entity. So what can be a central entity? What do you see?
Central entities course. Sorry, website designing. Front end. Sorry, the front end. I'm confused. Front end or website designing?
Yeah,
Which
website
one?
designing.
Website designing. Okay.
There's also one more thing,
Mm.
because the central entity you choose, then you don't need to go beyond the central entity. For example, if you, let's say, write about central entity is web designing, so you don't need to write
Mm.
about, let's say, for example, let's say on Google, because Google is not a concept that is, let's say, in the web designing, because Google is something else, and web designing is something
Yeah.
else. So which means the central entity
Mm.
you choose, you have to cover that central entity in very detailed way. Okay, next we have
Okay.
central search intent.
Mm.
So what can be central search intent? Let's come to it later, but core section, because central search intent is a very important thing that normally people, what I can say, that they are confused, and let's say they choose around central search intent. Core section and, let's say, outer section. So what will be the core section of, let's say, front end website designing course?
Um, yeah, obviously, like what are the things like if I selling in local, maybe so front end web designing in like Chennai or Tamil Nadu or Bangalore, like that,
Okay.
and that location pages I will create. So that is that core section, right? So we are selling mainly, we are targeting that area, so that is we need to sell that thing. So we need to create that pages for that. That is core section, right? So what are that go we need to selling, that is core section. Under that it will be like it will be money page basically.
Yeah, like, and there's one more thing that I think you are missing. The core section is
Mm.
basically like, again, your service pages are there, but from the service pages you cannot get, let's say, 10,000 traffic on your service page. Is it
Yeah.
possible that you can get, let's say, 10,000 clicks daily on, let's say, monthly on, let's say, your service page? No, it's
No,
not
no,
possible.
it's not
Which
possible.
means that, let's say, you
Mm.
have to cover the informational section in a very detailed way. For example, if it is a front end web designing course, so again, no. If we have website designing course, and let's say it is like coded one, let's say, in the, let's say, so you have to cover what is website designing. Okay,
Mm.
and let's say all website designing, let's say HTML, let's say
mm,
CSS, let's say JS, JavaScript. So you have to cover all these
mm,
things because it is your topic. So again, if we come here and if I copy the topical authority formula, this one.
mm.
So
Okay, that is I'm little confused actually. Core section, I expected that other, but why need to cover this? Like, yeah, we are selling like if you front end development means front end design also like in outer section we can cover, right? So why we need to cover in core section? Because core section is like basically like a money page actually. So in that money page we can't tell about the informational things. There yeah, we can mention informational, but morely we are going with commercial and transactional, right?
yeah, but normally let's say what I think is the core section is the section where you get the most, let's say, links and the most traffic. Okay, so again your service pages are there, but on the service page, as I said you, that you cannot get, let's say, thousands of ranking. Understand?
Hmm.
So let's say again,
Yeah, yeah.
but again, from what I said to you, that historical data,
Hmm.
this is the most important thing.
Hmm.
Maybe you
Okay.
have not understood it very perfectly, but I will give you example.
Hmm.
For example, if I write about an article, what is website designing? Okay, and
Hmm.
again remember the concept of, let's say, 400 facts. I give 400
Hmm.
facts in a more comprehensive way. uh,
Hmm.
just just give me, let's say, 1 minute.
Hmm.
Okay, so what I was telling. Okay, so let's say I wrote an article, what is website designing, and let's say all the top 10 competitors have only 100 facts, and I have written 400 facts in a more comprehensive way. I have written all things very semantically perfect. But
Hmm.
just I publish the article, will I be there in, let's say, on the first page, in the first position after I publish the article? I, let's say, index the article, and Google indexes my article. Is it possible? Like from the first day,
No,
it is in the top one position, in the top five position. Is it possible?
no.
No. So what, how it will, let's say, come in the top, let's say, 10, or let's say top 5 position?
So we need to cover that all around the things. So that they Google believe that so we are in that topical authority state or fully topical coverage.
Yeah, yeah, this is the main thing, because let's say if you write an article, so it will not be
Hmm.
ranked in the first position from the day one, because Google will, what Google will do, sometime Google will rank
Hmm.
it here, sometime Google will rank it, let's say, in the fourth position. So again, if you go to the search console, let's
Hmm.
I so in the search console, when you, let's say, write an article, so it shows like this, let's say, up, down, up, down, sometime like this, up, down, up, down. Sometimes
Hmm.
you get 2 clicks, sometimes you click 5 clicks, and this is called up and down. So what this up and down means,
Yeah.
sometimes Google give you, let's say, more position, let's say higher ranking, sometime low, low, high, low, high. So low, high means
Hmm.
basically Google is collecting the data, historical data. Is the user satisfied or not? So if they are positively from the day one, you are satisfying the user, user satisfying the user, and they are collecting the data. So this
Hmm.
ranking can be like this one. For example, if I come here, let's say this is the first one. Let's say for the 4 5 months, you are sometime getting more clicks, sometime getting low clicks, like this.
Hmm.
Okay, but in this timeline you have all satisfied user. So what Google will do, Google will
Hmm.
give you a primary position, let's say, in the top 10. So in the top 10, now you will be in, let's say, top 5, top 6, top 7, top 1, is this one. Again, if you get the positive historical data, again Google will make you more high, let's say, in the top 2 position, 1 2 1 2 1 2. So again, each and everything come from the historical data, which mean that, let's say,
Hmm.
if you wrote an article today, tomorrow you will not be in the top 1 position. Okay,
Hmm.
Google will have to get some data, then they can, what I can say, that then they can trust your website. Okay,
Okay. Fine.
so
Sure. I
the main thing
understand.
is, uh, you say that I am, let's say, a front-end website designing course. So again,
Hmm.
for, let's say, if you need to, let's say, do some, let's say, website, for example, website designing course. So your source context is, let's say, website designing course. let's say you are
mm,
selling, let's say selling, you are they selling the course, or maybe you are selling the course based on the subscription, let's say for 6 month, let's say consultation type of
mm,
things. So
mm.
you have, let's say, central entity like website designing, and I think the central entity could be like also plus education type of thing, because you are selling the course, so it means that you are educating the
Yeah.
people. Okay,
Mm, mm,
so this is the main thing. Next we have the core section. So in the core section you have to cover all these things, let's say website design, what is website design, and each and everything. Let's say you have also covered about HTML, CSS and JavaScript, because in website designing, if you are doing it in the, let's say in the, let's say coding version, so you have to cover about
mm.
HTML, CSS and JavaScript version. If you are selling WordPress website designing course, then you have to cover about WordPress, let's say what is plugin, what is theme, what is, let's say example, all these things, let's say design components of these things. Okay, so
Okay. So I have doubt actually. So I have a core section, or outer section, so that if I segregate that actually. So in that, we need, if you like that, if your website designing course, right? Okay. So in that, we have to publish as a service page only for web design, and like HTML, these kind of things as a service page only, not a blog actually. So there is a, it will be considered as a blog or service page. We need to publish.
basically there's a difference between service pages and the core section. Basically the core section are for getting the most traffic, for the most, let's say
Mm,
signals, more traffic, for example, and you have to design your topical map in such a way that you get all the links to your, let's say what you can say that, let's say to the core section. For example, if I give you an example, for example, if, for example if I want to learn SEO course, for example,
mm,
consider yourself, you want to understand Koray framework. Okay, so what you
mm.
will search, for example, first what you will say that what is Koray framework, for
Core is.
example.
Mm,
Okay, and let's say this, let's say or this one, you, let's say this one, let's say this one. Okay, so
mm,
you, let's say, come to this article and uh, they are writing this article, and inside this article they are saying
mm,
that if you want to learn Core course, let's say get in touch, I'll say copy, let's say come to our course, I'll say get this tutorial, etc etc. Okay, so again you have to cover the
mm,
information section, and from the information section the user will come. Okay, for example, let's say consider another article, consider another keyword, like for example if I say, if I want to learn, let's say off page SEO, if I want to say, let's say what are, how to build citations, so maybe I can say that how to build citations in, let's say local
mm,
SEO. So let's
mm,
say I come here and let's say uh, this one, what is local citation building for SEO. So they are writing about this article,
mm.
plus they will also link let's say book a demo starter trial. I think this is also a tool, bright local, and they are saying that, let's say
Yeah.
build citations, we can build citations for you, or let's say invest in our software, etc etc, which mean that you have to cover the
Mm,
information, because normally the people search more about the information rather than the exact, let's say transactional queries. For example, 10 people will search for, let's say local citation building course, but every, per month, but let's say every day thousands of people search for what is local citation building, how to build, what are the benefits, give me the list, let's say what are the risks, what are the, let's say consideration, all these things. So again,
mm,
you have to cover all the information section, so that whenever the user search query you are there. Okay, which means, so again understand these things. For example, this is your topic, for example this is your topic. Okay, so
mm,
and let's say this is the user, let's say this is the user, let's say this is the user, not
mm.
this one, this is the user. Okay, and let's say you, this is
Okay.
your, let's say this is your, let's say service page, but
Mm,
this is the service page only, let's say 10 people are searching, but your, let's say informational section, they are, let's say these are the informational queries that people are searching.
mm,
Now consider this is your user.
mm.
So anytime, let's say this is
Okay.
searched, let's say 10 times per month, and this is, let's say searched, let's say 10,000 times per month. So
Mm,
whenever let's say this cluster, this users search for, let's say what is citations, how to build citation, what are the benefits of citation, citation list, importance of citation, etc, these are all the queries, and you are, every time you are
mm,
there for their topic. Every time, let's say if someone
mm,
search for citation, let's say local SEO citation, so you are there, which mean that Google knows that, let's say for citation building topic, this website has covered every, each and every topic, which means topical coverage. Okay, the first
Okay.
thing. Next, next where are this one. Next, after let's say 2 to 3 months, when you get enough historical data, each time user lands on your site, you give unique information, proper information, say semantically organized information, and you are satisfying the user,
Mm.
which means that you are getting positive historical data. So Google will try to
Mm.
rank your service pages here, because every time user comes to this page, you are giving link to your, let's say, service page. Let's say from here you can, let's
Okay.
say, give a CTA to your page, which means that, let's say, if you are ranking for, let's say, informational section, Google will try you for the commercial section automatically. So there's the main thing, because if for the informational section you are already there, Google will try you for the commercial section, because at the end, if one website is satisfying all the users, it's cheaper for the Google. Again, cost of retrieval, it's cheaper for Google. Again, I will
Okay.
write a sentence here. It is cheaper for Google to, let's say, satisfy, say, 10,000 users from one website, then say uh, satisfying 10,000 users from, let's say, 100 website. Again, if you
Okay.
understand this one, you understand the, let's say, you understand how Google works. For example, if one website can satisfy 10,000 users, which means that it is cheaper. Like, let's say, if you are buying,
Yeah.
let's say, 10,000 things, and if you are buying, let's say, if you want to, let's say, go for shopping, and you buy, let's say,
Mm.
you want to buy, let's say, t-shirts, let's
Mm.
say, coat, and let's say shoes, and all these things come
Mm.
from, let's say, uh, one shop. And let's say, if
Oh,
you
yeah.
go to, let's say, for three shops, which one is, let's say, more, let's say, easy for you? Again,
One
one shop.
shop
If one
only.
shop can give you, let's say, t-shirt, coat, shoes, and let's say, etc., etc., so you will definitely go
Mm.
for all these things. And again, not just giving, again, cost of retrieval, which mean that in the cheaper cost, for example, if one shop
Mm.
is giving you, let's say, this one plus discount in the very, let's say, organized way. So this is the most important thing. So it's not just about the topical coverage and historical data, it's also about cost of retrieval. If you are giving, let's say, all these things, but you are very costly, so definitely Google will not try your website. Okay, so again, this is a very
Okay.
important concept. And about is the historical data. What is historical data? Historical data, in, let's say, simple words, which mean that, let's say, you are selling t-shirts, you are selling coats, you are selling shoes. So again, if first day user comes, so let's say in the first 2 to 3 months you will have, let's say, 10 to 15 customers. You don't, you will not have, let's say, thousands of customer from day one. So first user will
Mm.
come and they will go, user will come, they will go, and that user, if they are satisfied, they will come again, or they will call, they will say to other people that this website is, this person is trustworthy, this person sells shoes, t-shirts, coats in a very cheaper way. So from that, if you are
Mm.
getting positive historical data, it means that you are satisfying the users, so they will come again and
Mm.
they will refer you to other people. Okay, let's say in the physical world, and they will come again and they will
Okay.
refer other people also. But if you are selling them, let's say what I say, fake things, so again they will come, but after, let's say, 6 to 8 months, your website, your business will be down, because you are faking the user, you are, let's say, you are faking the, let's say, the originality, and let's say you are deceiving the user, you are giving, let's say, non-quality thing. So that is mainly about the digital world and, let's say, in the physical world. So I think you understand all these things.
Yeah.
Okay, so what will be the core section? So the core section will be like website designing. Okay, and again, you are selling website
HTML.
designing plus education. So again, when it comes to
Mm.
the education, so you have to cover about, let's say, uh, HTML fundamentals. For example, let's say what is li, what is ul, what is, let's say, h1 to h6, what is, let's say,
Mm.
paragraph, what is, let's say, bold, let's say, what is italics. I think you know about all these HTML tags. What is, let's say,
Yeah.
HTML table. So you have to cover all, let's say, the structure, text, semantics, medias, images, table, etc., all these things. If you come to, let's say, the CSS section, so you have to cover about, let's say, CSS colors. Okay, CSS, let's say, typographies. Let's say you have to cover about, let's say,
Okay.
layouts, let's say,
Mm.
grids, let's say,
Mm.
I think flex box type of things. Again, if you come to the
Mm.
let's say JavaScript, so again you have to cover the JavaScript only from the front end, because JavaScript can be also used at the back end, let's say. So you have to write about, let's say, JavaScript variables, let's say functions, say DOM,
Okay,
what.
these are all our human like knowledge, right? So that we can search that how we can find that for okay. Just I'm asking like for that course only we are like that we are to try it for to like each and every section. So it depends upon that way other niches, right? So for detailed things, so it will depends upon that maybe various things. Okay, fine. I
Uh,
understand.
I didn't understand, but let me make it more clear. For example, I know this
Mm,
topic from, because I'm a little bit know about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, so that's why I'm let's say creating these things. For example, I know what is HTML, what are the tags in HTML, what is CSS, what are the, let's say, concept in. So again, but let's
mm,
say, how do you write about Flexbox? Again, you have to cover
mm,
it. For example, if I say what is Flexbox in, let's say, CSS. For example, if people has
mm,
written about, let's say, CSS Flexbox, okay, so which mean
mm.
that I also have to write CSS Flexbox, CSS Flexbox,
Mm,
Flexbox, which mean that I have to be there, because again, the thing here is that I have to satisfy the context, because I want to be authority for web designing plus education, because I'm educating the people, which mean that maybe if let's say I am learning HTML, let's say I am learning website designing course, and if I search for, let's say, how to
mm,
use Flexbox in CSS, so if I am there,
mm,
let's say, as a course seller, so maybe if a person is learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript by himself or herself, so maybe I can sell them my course, because let's say if I say that
okay.
give, let's say, 7 days free trial, and then you can, let's say X amount of money, so you can enroll in our course. So basically you have to cover HTML, CSS, JavaScript, let's say. Also you have to cover about, because you are covering about website designing, so again the important thing is responsive web designing, because this is the most important thing, because you don't need to just design the website, you have to make it responsive. Okay,
Mm,
so because responsive designing is, let's say, I think let's say that trending, because every person need trend, and also you have to make your website responsive for the websites, and also you have to write about, let's say, website designing tools, like, let's say, how to use VS Code, let's say, I think some HTML editors, let's say JavaScript, uh, etc. And also you have to write about, let's say, etc, all these things. So this will be your core section, because again you are educating the people, and also you are covering the website designing topic. So this will be your core section. Okay, so what will be the outer
okay.
section? So the outer section will be like, let's say, you can write about, let's say, trendy topic, like, let's say, for example, let's say AI in, let's say, yeah, let's say AI based web designing. Okay, and right
Mm,
now
mm,
you know that, let's say, vibe coding, some people call it vibe coding, let's say web designing. Okay, so these are trendy
okay.
things. You can also write about, let's say,
So
because yes.
yeah, I have a doubt actually. It's like let me clear that actually.
Mm-hmm.
So if you mentioned that core section and outer section, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from that I know I thought that core section means you have to cover in service page, and the outer section is we need to cover in blog section. So now I understand that core section also it will be like we can that's not matter about blog or service page. We need to cover that core section means topic that is a core section. So it will be like in block section also we can cover, and service section also we can cover, but that is a we need to cover that is a course things that is right, or else any changes.
Yeah, basically, because service page you cannot, let's say, write, let's say, 10,000, let's say 5,000 words of information in service page,
Mm.
because service page you just try to convert the user. Okay, so maybe
Mm-hmm.
you don't
Yeah.
see a service page that is writing, let's say, 5,000, let's say 7,000 of words, because the person
Mm.
is not come here for the information. He just want to know that, let's say, I want to buy the course, what is the price, let's say, what is the duration of
Mm.
the course, what are the reviews of the course. So you have to cover these things in the informational section. And one more thing, that again Google is at the end, let's say, built for the user. So if you are satisfying the web designing user and the educator context, so again if you are satisfying that user, so that user will be come here. And I also want to expand here. If you
Mm.
again you asked a very important thing. Again, if you come go to the course lecture 1, so again this called uh, I think Koray created these type of things, something like, what was the thing?
Yeah, yeah,
And I don't have rectangle here. Let's say this one. Again, if you understand these
yeah,
things,
yeah.
so this is the essence of the course. Okay, and
Mm.
it took me a long to understand these things. That's why I'm telling these things, because these, and again, if you check the code, this is the first, let's say, video. So why this is
Oh,
the first video?
first
Why?
video, yeah.
Yeah, why didn't Core started creating the topical web again? I think we have, let's say, more than 1 hour session, and we didn't just, we are just explaining the theory, because it is not something very easy like you just go to this tool and create a topical map. You have to understand the concepts in your mind. Okay, so again, this is user one, and this search for, let's say, these topics. This is user two, search for these topics. This is user three, search for these topics. Okay, so again, this is basically, this is the user group. Okay, and these are
Mm.
the queries. Okay, so you have to
Mm.
understand your users, and again, how to understand your user, you have to understand the source content. Let's say if I'm selling the website, okay, and
Mm.
I'm, my central entity is web designing plus education. Okay,
Mm.
okay, what is my central search intent? Oh, okay, so the next thing is, let's say if I want to cover these articles, but if I'm providing website designing services, so again my topical map will be designed in a very different way. Understand?
Mm.
So this is basically the users cluster, because if let's say this user is buying web designing services, this is a company, and they are buying web designing, let's say, services from me, not course services. Let's say if they are saying that create a website for me, but this user is
Mm.
learning to understand website designing. So again, Corey said that
Mm.
if this is your user, so again your query path, your, let's say, correlative query and sequential query sessions will be changed. Now you understand these things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so let me make it more clear. I think there is still confusion. Again,
Yeah,
uh,
it will be like first video only, but it's more confused. That's soon I move on that other video also. It will be like okay, fine. I will move on that. That's
yeah,
kind.
yeah, yeah. So basically, again, in the, I think, lecture 5, lecture 6, Corey say that if you are still confused, so go to lecture 1 and watch it 2 to 3 times. Again, Corey recommended in somewhere in the middle. So basically, let's say
Mm.
I have a topic, and let's say I write about here,
Mm.
and let's make it, let's say, 35. Let's say web designing. Okay.
Mm.
So again, web designing is searched by, let's say, this person, and this person, and this is, let's say, web designing topics. Okay, but again, the users are different. Let's say this person is a business owner, and he needs website
Mm.
to be designed for himself. This person is
Mm.
website is, let's say, a student who want to learn web designing. So
Mm.
again, this user is
Okay.
different from this user. So if this is
Mm.
your target, which means that you are selling website designing services, not courses. Let's say you are a
Yep.
designer, and you creating an agency for yourself, and you are selling website
Mm.
designing services. So again, your topical map, your
Okay.
core section, outer section, your all, each and everything will be changed. If you are educating the people, if you are trying to sell the courses, so you will not sell the course to the client. Let's say client, you don't let's say sell course to the client that, let's say, go to my SEO, sorry, SEO, not SEO, my front end website designing course and create website for yourself. No, you will, let's say, your
Mm.
target will be these type of user. So if this is your user, your query path, your sequential queries, and let's say your correlative query, they will be changed. So basically, this is called
Mm.
query semantics, like, let's say, are understanding your niche, understanding your topic. So this is basically the 5 components of topical map. Again, as I told you, that the central entity is education, which means that I'm educating the
Mm.
users, right?
Okay.
I think it's
So central integrity can be like plus it will be we can add it and it's not like that in one thing. So we can this web designing not is that we can add that in education also. So
yeah.
in that other niches also we can add anything like extra plus what are the site needs that is central entity we can mention that,
Yeah, but also
right?
one more thing, because you cannot say that education is also identity, because if you go to education, so education is a something better, something another thing. Web designing
Mm.
education, like web designing plus education, mean that education is not a separate entity. It is connected to the web designing education context. Like education is the context
Okay.
basically here, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me. Tell go on. It will be okay. Fine. That's. I understand that. Let me. If there is any practice, I will that right. So I will get that on that topics actually. So now I understand what is that. So central entry and education like that.
Okay, so next we have the, let's say, outer section. So in the outer section,
Mm.
again you are covering the design, let's say web design thing, but in a, let's say, broader way. For example, let's say you search for AI based web designing services, so let's say
Mm.
vibe coding, something like that. You can also write about, let's say, UI UX principle. Okay, like say for example, UI UX principle mean that how to, let's say red color on white background, it is good or not, what are the principle, what are, let's say, some things are there. You can also, because there is one more thing. For example, if your source context is education, so again
Mm.
after buying the course, after, let's say, what I can say, like, if user bought your course and they understand the, let's say, the web designing, how to find clients, let's say this
Mm.
can be also your how to find clients of web designing, or let's
Yep.
say portfolio, how to create portfolio, or let's
Mm.
say how to create, let's say, what is the career options. Okay, again,
Mm.
how to let's say web designing career, this is not your main topic, again, because this is
Mm.
not, you are not selling career type of thing, let's say, but this
Mm.
is related to your topic. And again, you will, let's say, for example, outer section, for example, if I, there's a topic called, let's say, front end front end
Mm.
uh, sorry development careers. Okay, so if I write an article about this one, okay, and let's say, not jobs,
Bro, can I record that this session if you want?
yeah, what is the future of, let's
Yeah.
say, what is the future of what is called, let's say, web, let's say,
Mm.
front end website designing. Okay, for example, this is an article. So again, if I
Mm.
write about this one, what is the future of, let's say, front end development. Okay, for example, let's say NetGuru, this is a company in India. So let's say if I writing about this article, and let's say I write each and every information, and at the end I say that just the future of front end development is safe, and again, if you want to learn, let's say, click here and I will, let's
Mm.
say, enroll in our course. So basically this is called outer section, let's say, how to choose the career, how to build a portfolio of this thing. And also you can go a little bit more, let's say, sorry my, okay, okay, so you can also write about, let's say, career. You can also let's say, uh, what you can say, like, for example, you can also write about
Mm.
for example, how to build
Okay,
portfolio, what
yes.
is the career, what is the future. uh,
Future things and like that. What we do, how to do that actually, like that kind of things, right?
yeah, yeah, you can also write about, let's say, frameworks. Let's say what are the frameworks used for, let's say, I think Bootstrap is used as a CSS, let's say JavaScript, and I think
Mm.
we have jQuery, not yeah, I think yes, jQuery for JavaScript frameworks. So you can also write about these things. You can also write about some, let's say, online tools you can
Mm.
use. Okay, so again, these are not related, but they are, let's say, in the outer section. So again, user can come, let's say if I want to buy a course, let's say, if someone said to me that, let's say, you are a student, and let's say you are graduated recently and try to learn a
Mm.
skill, and he or she says to me that, search for web designing course and enroll in that course. So I will like, I will search like this, like, what is web designing, how to learn web designing, let's say, what is the career opportunities, let's say, how to learn
Mm.
web designing, again, learn how to learn web designing, all these things. Let's say, what is the future, what is the salary of, let's say, web designer in India, in Pakistan, in, let's say, in Bangladesh, in, let's say, in United States, how to find clients,
Mm.
what is the portfolio. Again, I will ask for, let's say, I will search for all these topics. So again, if one website, if for example, if I search for, let's say, what is website designing, and NetGuru comes, let's say I've said how to learn, and this website come, if I say that what are the tools, what is the career, what is the future. So again, if this website comes to me again and again, so if this website is offering me a course, even if it's too costly, I will say that this website has covered each and everything in a very detailed way, in a very informative way. So I will be ready to buy their course, and normally user buy like this. So these are the things.
Oh,
So
sure, sure.
again, you gave a very good example, because I knew about this topic. like not
Mm.
I'm not too much expert on, let's say, on these Koray type of thing, but I knew something. So that's why it was easy to create a topical map, I think. And again this, right now we do this is a conceptual map, because we don't know, let's say, vibe coding designing it is search or not. We don't know about the search volume, we don't know about the search. We just create a conceptual, this is a conceptual map. How you can
Okay.
create a topical map? No, you will go to the SEO tool, you will go to the competitions. No, you will, let's say, how
Mm.
each topic will be created. Will,
Mm.
for example, let's say, should I create a new page for layout? Should I create a new page for grid? Should I create a new page for flipbooks? Or should I cover all these things in one page? So this is basically the next part of the topical map, because this is the conceptual map. And the next, when you create
Mm.
a topical map, you have to understand, let's say, what is ranking on the web, what are the websites doing, and you have to exceed the quality. So this was all the thing. So again, you have to cover all these topics. Okay, covered it. Now you have to wait for the Google. Again, if you watch Koray more and more, he said that, uh, wait for the core algorithm update. Wait for the, let's say, after two algorithm or one core algorithm update, then you will get
Mm.
positive historical data. And lastly, the most important thing is cost of retrieval, because every time a person search for a topic, you are there and you are very cheaper, and you are satisfying, let's say, 10,000 user. Let's say you are satisfying every user from your topic. So again, this will be cheaper for you. So yeah, this is the
Fine.
thing. And again, do not try to expect, let's say, you write one article in a very detailed way, and expect
Mm.
that I will be outranking, let's say, a big website like NetGuru. So again, and I one more thing, that page rank, or let's say backlinks, that are the most important ranking factor. So do not say, let's say, I will just rank on, let's say, on page. Again, you can rank on, let's say, just semantics, but if you add, let's say, backlinks, so your historical data will be faster. You will get faster historical data, which means that you will get faster rankings. So, but how to use page rank? First, understand the semantic. For example, if you do these things right, so you don't need thousands of
Mm.
backlinks, you need just 2 to 3 backlinks, high quality, and then you will be ranking higher. But if you are not using this one, so then you will be, let's say, investing in, let's say, 100 backlinks, and you will get ranking after 2 3 months. You will lose ranking, so your budget will be too high. So again, all these things that are they these things work in a highly competitive niches. Let's say you can apply this framework in a really competitive niche, because this is not like simple type of things. And again, lastly, I would say that some people, normally you also observe some people that are saying that, uh, I have a website, let's say my client website, or let's say I have a niche, and I write content with ChatGPT, let's say with one click automation, and they are ranking at the top. Okay, so
Mm.
why you are, let's say, overcomplicating these things? Let's say source context, central entity, let's say core section, let's say semantic structure, etc. So basically, it depends upon niche to niche. If you are in an easy niche, let's say, all these things depend upon the competition. If your competitor is really quality, again you have to implement these things. If your competition is very low, so even you can rank with AI content. So
Okay.
that's the main thing. So uh, do not, let's say, get hyped by these type of people that, let's say, this is my website and I get ranked in 10 seconds, or let's say in 5 minutes, in, let's say, 1 hour. So that is not the ranking. Ranking is permanent. So basically these things are not cheaper, because, let's say, creating 200 articles with all these semantic guidelines, it's not easy. You have to find costly writers, expert writer, and you have to understand the search engine in a very detailed way. So
Okay. So for now, we covered with the conceptual map only. So still that is a topical map is like we need to create from this. So first, before that, we need to create a conceptual map like this.
yeah,
So then we can move on that topical map based on that this conceptual map.
yeah. So
So
basically,
if you create, yeah, tell me. Yeah, tell me.
yeah. Continue.
No, actually, like if there is a, okay, finish that. So if we move on the topical map, what are the things we can consider and how we can start that and research about that?
So you will have two scenarios. Either you will know about the topic, I will you won't know anything about the topic. So right now I knew like 70 to 90% of the topic. So that's why I created a conceptual map. Okay. So
Okay.
again, do
Mm.
not make it too complicated.
Mm. No, if you okay with that, we can wind up with that, and we can go for the another session because we were already like spending too much maybe. So if you okay with that, we can continue. It will be not possible. We can continue with tomorrow on the like that. If you when you are free also actually.
Yeah, basically I cannot, let's say, creating a full topical map, which will be too
Mm-hmm. Too time
yeah,
consuming,
time
yeah.
consuming.
So I just wanted that methods like so that how you can researching and how we can start with the topical title tags kind of things, and that how we can start with that brief content brief research.
Okay,
So that is will be fine so that I can understand how you people are like creating if there is a one topic or one like that one content brief or one topic like that meta title in that, that is also fine. So like how they are creating the Koray section, right? He has that topic and meta title description and the image alt text and publication date, that kind of things.
okay. Image URL and let's
So
say
mm,
image.
description.
Okay,
Mm.
so it
These
takes
are the
time.
things I need to understand also. Yeah.
Okay, so for example,
That's why I'm asking.
again, yeah. So there are two things: web designing, say, course.
Mm,
Okay, this is my, let's say, web designing course. Let's say for example this is my home page. Okay,
mm,
I just say this is my source context. So first you will have to understand the topic. So again, it's not like, again I said that don't be a perfectionist.
mm,
Like, just gather information. Let's say it is not a one, let's say one click process, or let's say one way process. You have to refine it again
mm,
and again. And also one more thing, that this is not a static, let's say topical map should not be static. Maybe in the future you can create more topics, maybe in the future you can delete some topics, maybe in the future you can, let's say, if a topic is somewhere here, you can move it to, let's say, in the to the here, because this is important, that the demand of this, let's say, topic has been increased. So what you can do, that let's say instead of publishing 1 month later, you can publish them, let's
mm,
say, right now. So again, the topical map should
mm.
not be too much, let's say, static. You have to change it based on the queries, and based on the queries, and based on what you can say, based on the competition. Because at the start I said about, let's say, queries, each and everything
Queries.
come from the queries. So do not create a conceptual
Mm,
map just we created. Conceptual map is just for understanding the things. And again, if you want to know more, you have to again check the search volume, check the more, each and everything. Okay, so right now let's
okay,
say
fine.
if I come here, for example, if I say, let's say, what is web designing. Right now I don't have any SEO tool and anything. So
Mm,
again, if matlab I'm not searching on any SEO tool, I'm just, let's say, creating my own concept. This again, this is a conceptual map.
mm,
But how you will do, let's say, if
mm,
your target country is India, so go for India.
mm,
And again I will copy it here. Okay, what type of SEO tool you use, you are free. Let's say I search for what is, let's say, web designing. Okay,
mm,
so again if I search here, so let's say, what is web design. Okay, what is web design. Okay, what is web design, what is web design. Let's say every person has written content about this one.
mm,
So this is, let's say, this is my article one. For example, if I say just types of web design, I don't know about search
mm,
volume. So just I am, you can also search for, let's say, web designing, and you can, let's say, web designing course fee kya hota hai. So it's mean that this is something, what is web designing in, let's say, in English. In
mm.
Hindi we can say kya hota hai. Okay, let's say if I say, let's say,
Okay.
types of web designing. So again, if
Mm,
you come here, what is web designing course, web designing PDF notes, web designing with example,
mm,
web designing digital marketing, what are the three types. Okay, so again, if I come to here, types of web designing. So
mm, mm.
my browser has been is not responding, so
Yeah,
let's
it will be
close.
fine. So
uh,
it take time. It will be fine, fine. It will be fine. No issues.
scroll is not working.
Okay.
Let's types of web designing, and think the Google is not allowing us to create a topical map. Okay,
Yeah, it will be fine so that we can.
okay. So we have like types of web designers, web designing styles. Again, types of web design, types of
Mm,
web design. Again, there is type of web development. So development is not in
mm,
context. So web design. So basically, if you see, we have types of web design, and also we have styles.
mm,
So again, I can create here, let's say, types of web design, and I let's say I
mm.
search for web design styles. So
Okay,
then
from this you are like making like topical maps, creating that is the exact research
no,
you are
no.
showing that right.
Yeah,
That
this is
is
the conceptual map, but again, you have to check the queries and you have to check your competitors. Again, we are missing many things. For example, let's say if I come to India, let's say, and if I say for let's say what is website designing,
mm.
and forget about my spelling mistake, let's say Geek for Geeks. It is a very huge website
Will
in
be fine.
India, educational website.
Mm,
So what you can do, let's say you go to let's say web development section, I think, let's say web design website apps. You have to come
okay.
to this section, let's say website apps, and you have to
Mm,
gather all the topics they have written. So this is 404, this is web designing.
mm,
Okay, so what is web designing, and these are all the topics, let's say web graphics, UI UX. So what you can do, again, let's say if you come to here, and
okay, gathering that all topics
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
that is it.
So the hard part is that first you gather all the topics you have. Let's say you have to make your hands dirty from all the topics, and then you organize these
Mm-hmm.
things. Because in the first, for example, this was a good topic because I knew about it. Sometimes you don't knew about the topic. For example, you don't know what is UI UX. So you have to understand the topic and you
Mm,
have to gather the topics. Okay, so let's say this is,
okay.
but let it just yeah. At first time that I created too much. So yeah, let's say if I come here and I just let's say copy, let's say these this website has covered, let's say this one, let's say this one. So
Mm,
this is let's say some raw topics, okay, web graphics, etc.
okay.
And let's
Mm,
say these are the let's say web design advanced. So let's say I come here, this one. Let's say I come here, web design differences. So these are the differences. Let's say these are the differences again. So again, I think, and these are the jobs opportunities 2021. So I think I don't need to cover because yeah, I think I should cover. Again, it depends upon your strategy and let's say and your budget, because these are the things. Okay, so let's say this website,
okay.
visual elements, functional elements, all these things. Okay, so these are all the topics covered by this one. Let's say if you come to here, simply learn, I think it's also an educational website. So again, this is a course
Mm,
website, so you have to understand this thing also. And what is web designing, again, what is web designing. And at the last, they let's say again, what top software development are saying. So you can, let's say if you click here, so they are trying to pitch you a course, full stack development course, so you can
yeah,
also
yeah.
do these type of things. So again, CTA type of thing. And if I come to let's say the blog, or let's say the article sections, I can scrape their what you can say, their let's say sitemap also. For example, if I come here and if it is in WordPress website, if I come to WordPress website, not this one, I think they are not the sitemaps underscore index. Maybe it's a custom website, so it's not here. So again, we have total let's say 1100 1000 article. So C sharp versus Java. So this is not too much important for me. 99 programming languages in 2026. It is also in the outer section. The difference between Hashgraph and blockchain. This is not our topic because maybe this website is selling many things. Let's say all courses. Yeah,
Mm,
it's a very huge website. Digital marketing, quantity management, software development. So you have to gather all the topics from here. Let's say top software development companies. You can also write about this one, difference between list and tuple in Python. So list is there in HTML, but tuple is not there in HTML, so you have to skip this one. And maybe there are also something, data science, machine learning project, cybersecurity. Yeah, so again you have to scrape all these topics. Okay, let's say because right now we don't have, let's say, some designing, software development, maybe we have something here, top mobile testing, no, this one. So again, let's say you have to scrape all these topics, then let's say again come to, let's say, Wikipedia. So Wikipedia, we don't have this one. Again, you can also write like this, let's say Wikipedia, let's say site dot, let's say write, let's say website, let's say web, and let's say design, let's say says responsive web design. This is a topic for you. So again, copy here and let's say come
Okay, these
here.
are
So
related
this
to
is,
the topics.
again, this is the raw research. This is not a complete topical map thing. This is the raw research, just you are doing the research, let's say outline of web design and web development. This can be also, and you can also cover something about web development. This is not your topic, but again, just write, let's say, some articles about web development. That can be also your, let's say, for example, you say that web design, and let's say my font is to web design versus web development. This can be also a topic you
Okay.
can cover, because if you want to, if a person want to learn web designing, but he's confused that what is web designing and what is web development, he can also search for, let's say, what is the difference, and you can also pitch their your course. Again, let's say web design, web development, adaptive web design. So this can be also a concept you can learn, and let's say you can write about this one. So holy gray web design, I don't know about this one. I think it's a layout. So just gather it in your, let's say, in the research. In future, if you have budget, you can
Hmm.
cover this one. US web
Okay, fine.
designing system, I don't, this is something else. Let's say table list web design, let's say website wireframe. Again, this is, let's say, one thing that you can do. Okay, next, let's say come here, and let's say we have, let's say, uh, this website, this is called web designing. So
Hmm.
again, come here and let's say extract all the topics. If I come to here, topics, top UI UX design topic, these are, let's say, design thinking, user experience design, graphic design, color theory. Again, UI UX principle, UI design. These are some principles. I don't know about these things, but still, you can cover these things in the outer section. Let's say what are the design principles, what are the prototypes, what are the, say, UX research, how to research for the UX. So again,
Okay, these are outer section
some will be the outer section, some will be in the, let's say, the core
in
section,
the
rest of the,
core section.
yeah. So again, if my, yeah, let's say agile design, so you have to cover all these things. And again, first you have to gather all these things, because if you come here, there will be like, let's say, more than, I think more than 150 articles, let's say 70 80 articles. So then you have to prioritize them based on your need and based on your website topic. So let's say if this is your topical map, not this one, I think this one. So let's say if this is your topical map, so you have to write the most important and let's say the core article. For example, do not write about, let's say, if I come here and let's say there is a topic called, let's say, how to use color in web design. So this may not be too much important. Okay, the most important will be
Mm-hmm.
like, let's say, what is web designing, types of designing, how to use HTML, let's say CSS, these type of thing. So first you have to cover the most important, and the most importance come from, let's say, from the search volume and search demand. Let's say the thing, again, in the start I said to you that if something has a good and a lot of search volume, which means that it has a lot more importance for the Google, because Google is at the end built for the user, and if they are not satisfying the user, so again the user will come to either its competitor, or let's say other, and let's say LLM or ChatGPT model. So again, if something has a
Okay.
good search volume,
Our
so
goal is to make a good historical data for that based on the search volume. So after that, it will be Google. It will be ranking automatically. That is that. So based on the topical coverage and authority.
yeah, search volume is important, but again, from the search volume you have to cover, let's say, the important topic. For example, if there is a topic, for example, there is a, let's say, a framework, let's say, in the design, let's say X, let's say principle in designing. So maybe this is too much important. Let's say, let's say if I have, let's say, 1 million search volume, but that is not your,
mm,
let's say, main thing. So you can keep that in, let's say, in the medium priority or in the low priority. First you have to cover the most important, let's say, article, let's say the most core information. So from the core, which mean that they are related to your topic. So expressively designing, it can be a little bit broad, but let's say what is web designing, types of web designing, how to learn web designing, this is your main topic. For example, if someone is buying your course, he or she can, let's say, her first query, yeah, or his first query can be how to learn web designing, what are the types of web designing,
mm,
these type of things. So again,
mm.
you have to cover all these things. And again, if you memorize, if you recall my painting here, so again, everything come from the user history and user perception. Let's say from the, let's say, if user is, let's say, is trying to buy, if your user are, let's say, mobile, if you are selling mobile app development, sorry, not mobile, front end website development services, which mean that your target users are different. If you are selling courses, your websites user are different. So you have to understand these things. Okay, so again, you have to check all these websites, and do not let's say start with, stop with one two. Try to create as many, let's say, try to research for many topics. And again, use, if any favorite SEO
Okay.
tool, I didn't use SEO tool here, but use SEO tool for the, let's say, for getting the, let's say, traffic, let's say volume, or let's say keyword, not difficulty but keyword
Mm.
volume. So again, you, let's say, gather all these things. Okay, these
So
things.
I just worry about that volume only, like not difficulty. Maybe like if there is a like if web designing is like around keyword volume around 20k 2k or 20k volume is, I just put out that that is one, and that what are the types of designing that is will be high volume.
Mhm.
So forget about the DR actually. So just in we need to what are the core topics, what are that, so that's based on that we need to cover that the things, right?
Yeah, forget about the keyword difficulty. Try to
Mm.
forget about the keyword difficulty. Try to give more information, and more, let's say, organized information and unique information, expert information with high quality threshold. So if you are still confused, let's say, quality threshold case study. So this is a quality threshold case study, like how to use quality threshold, and
Mm.
what are predictive rankings. So again, this, I think you know, Swellbarty website from the course. So
Yeah.
basically this is the thing,
Mm.
and only 27 articles in �YMYL niche. So again, web designing is not a �YMYL niche. So,
Mm.
and they are ranking very high. And
Sure, I
again,
will
if you are
again
doing,
once I read.
yeah, say it again.
Yeah, sorry, I will again read this this article. Actually, I read it that before that also, but it will be like something not understand. Now I am getting things from that, so now I will read and again I understand.
Yeah, yeah, and there are also some, let's say, semantic guidelines rules. Yeah, this one.
Mm.
So you can also read this one, like how to use, let's say, these one, use fewer links per document. Okay, give multiple example data points, sets, percentage, include more entities, attributes. Okay, do not use any EAT negativity, proper context lecture. So all these things. So again, you have to read this one, and then you can, let's say, understand that how, let's say, how you can create an article with high quality threshold. You can, if you exceed the quality threshold, and again, quality threshold cannot
Mm.
be just on, let's say, one article. Again, you have to, let's say, if Koray has written 27 article, all of the article will exceed extremely quality. I think he hired PhD writers. So again, PhD writers has experience, they have a lot, they know a lot about each and everything. So again, as I said, that semantic SEO, or let's say, applying these things are not cheaper. Like you cannot use ChatGPT, or let's say some non-expert writers, you have to use expert writers. Okay, so what I was
Okay.
saying, because of the time constraint, I am just considering that you know all these things. So again, you have to, let's say, go to any SEO, favorite SEO tool, and try to research your
Mm.
topic, try to research your queries. But still, let's say, if you have,
Mm.
let's say, 500 total, let's say, topics, so then you have to categorize them. Let's say, what is the most important one, what is the least important one. And again, you can, let's
Mm.
say, try to search like this. Let's say, if I come here, let's say, what is web designing. Again, web design type, this is again in the auto suggestion, let's say, some sorry, not auto suggestion, in the last one. So again, I search for types, this one. and Google is saying me
mm,
the result for web designing style, so which mean that maybe it has low search volume, it has high search volume, and many
mm,
websites have, let's say if I search for even types, so still Google is showing me style, which mean that the style is very important. So maybe uh,
mm,
I can no, this is the main thing. What I was trying about query semantics. So types and style are different thing, but in query, Google is considering the type to the style, which means that the style is more important, and maybe the style and type
mm.
that are the same page, which means that for the types of web designing, I will not create a separate page. I will create one page that will be cover style and types also. So what I will do for the, let's say for the random research, I will just write types and styles. So in future, I will let's say come through here and make it more, let's say refined when I will creating the title tag. Okay. So let's say web
Okay,
designing
fine.
styles. Let's say if I come here styles. So again, if you come here, three types of web designing style examples, types, UI design style, styles name, and if you come to the competitors one, so these are, let's say importance of UI UX design, but this is in somewhere in the outer section. Let's say fundamentals of solid, principles of e-commerce, let's say human, how page speed impacts. So this is like outer section articles. Okay. So if you come here, let's say how to use, because again you have to understand the user context, because if your user are trying to learn web designing, so you have to cover all these things. Let's say HTML, how to, let's say use colors,
Okay.
how to use type, not this one, sorry, how to use, let's say list item, let's say UL, let's say H1 H6, paragraph, bolding, italics, let's say these things. And again, each and everything will be based on the search volume and based on the index construction. For example, I will
Oh,
say one rule here, that let's say for a topic, say when to create a, let's say a page on a topic, or when to not. So there are two things. The first thing is that if the query, or let's say topic, I will make it topic
mm,
if the topic has a decent search volume, and they say
mm,
there is enough, let's say there is, there exists uh, index, which mean index mean
mm,
that, let's say if I search for what is web design, so it has a high search volume. Let's say what is
mm,
web designing. Okay, so first of all, it has a high search volume, and next every person has written about it, so which mean that I do not have to skip this one. I have to write about this one. For example, if I search for something like what is, let's say paragraph tag in, let's say HTML, so maybe HTML paragraph, HTML paragraph, HTML paragraphs. Okay, p tag, p tag, p tag. Okay, p tag, p tag, which mean that I should write about this one. Let's say if I search for li in HTML, so maybe there will be list HTML li tag, li. Okay,
mm.
li, but again only one website is coming here, W3 school everywhere. So let's say if I say that, if I come here in HTML list, so maybe I can cover these things here in the HTML list table, because list include li and ul. Okay, ul and ol type of things. If my browser allows me,
Okay,
so
based on that, your brain, what you said, like already having knowledge, use that brain also, like
uh,
what first the thing, so that what is that, then
and
what are
also
the.
check the SERP, check the SERP, because the SERP is the most important thing. Do not try to imitate things from, let's say, ChatGPT. Some people say that go to ChatGPT and say that create a topical map and do these things. So
Mm,
ChatGPT don't have the, let's say, enough the real time
data.
search index data. So let's say maybe
Mm,
if I, let's say as I told you, that I search for types and Google gives me the style. So ChatGPT cannot give you these type of things. So
mm. So I do not use that ChatGPT while the topical map
no, you
creating.
can use for your, let's say for your, let's say understanding. Let's say if you don't understand these things, because being expert on every topic for every SEO project, it's a little bit hard.
Mm,
Not little bit, it's too
yeah.
much hard. So you can use them for
Mm,
understanding, let's say the SEO, or let's say for understanding the topics, but do not rely them,
mm,
because if you are creating topical maps, or let's say you are using these things for, let's say you are, let's say trusting them blindly, so that is a huge mistake you are doing. So
okay, fine.
Yeah, so
Sure,
again,
I will understand.
these are the things that, let's say, you have to cover, let's say, write all the topics. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is basically a topical map. And again, for the URL structure, if you have, let's say, time, and if you have, let's say resources, you can cover, let's say, go with the Koray style, let's say, URL structure. For example, this will be, let's say, your home page, let's say, slash web design. Okay. And again, this will
Mm.
be your, let's say, your, if this is your main entity, so let's say,
Mm.
like this, web designing, let's say, style, web design style, let's say, example, let's say, career. Okay, but if you don't have, let's say, enough resources, and let's say, if you are, let's say, at the start, and you don't want to confuse yourself by, let's say, because at the start I say that don't be a perfectionist. For example, uh, if you are investing too much time on URL type of thing, and you are missing the things, and let's say your client has limited time, so just go with like this, uh, let's say, domain.com slash web designing, let's say, definition. Simple. If you, again, if you don't need to write definition, let's say, web designing style, so again, you can write like this, web designing dash
Types.
styles, let's say, styles, or let's say, types. So you can write like this
Mm.
one. So if you go with the, let's say,
Okay.
hierarchy style, it is good. But if you have limited time, if you have, let's say, client, if client do not want to use, let's say, the hierarchical approach, so then you can go with this one
Mm.
also. And again, for the
Okay.
title thing, so title cannot be created based on the, let's say, on the sub. You have to create a content brief, and from the content brief you will create the title. Let's say how you can create a
Okay. Fine.
title. And meta description, we have two type of things. First, if your topic is small, okay, so let's take summative version of, let's say, your article. For example, in the article you write about web designing, let's say, web designing, so write about definition, TKR. Let's say you can write like this: what is
Mm.
web designing? Then you write about importance. Then let's you write about features. Let's say then you write about, for example, examples. And lastly, your last heading was, let's say, and how to learn web designing. Okay. So again, meta descriptions are written by the Google. So this is the best version. Let's say basically in from the Google guidelines, it is the summary of your article. So it's not always the case that Google will show you this, let's say, meta description in your, in the sub. They will change based on the query. Okay. So this will be the
Okay.
meta description. But if your topic is too much, let's say, too, let's say, detailed, and let's say there are too many things, you can skip this one, and let's say Google can uh, Google can, let's say, pick someone from, let's say, from page. Let's lastly we next we have, let's say, the image URL. So basically this is the feature image URL, not the simple URL. For example, if I come here and if I search for, let's say, what is
Mm.
web design, so basically this is the feature image is the most important thing. Okay. Do not yeah, this one. Okay. So what will the URL? So again, you have to use the query terms from the this one. So you can write like this: image URL be like web designing, let's say, definition. Again, if this one has a high search volume, use this one. If, let's say, do not use stop words mean like the words that do not have any meaning, like is, let's say, of, let's say,
Mm.
the.
Mm.
So do not write these things in the URL. And again, try to make things more, let's say, simple, and let's say, thematic. Do not try to overcomplicate and these type of things. Okay. So web design definition, what will be the image description? So not image description, image alt text. So image alt text will be like, again, the variation of, let's say, your, again, web designing. This image is about web design, and let's say principle and all these things. So you can again use image alt text here. And next you have the publication frequency. Again, you can set them based on the, let's say, okay, publication frequency. There is this is most important. I want to invest some time here. Uh, Frequency. How you can, let's say, do the publication frequency. So again, I will.
So based on that, what are the topics we written, right? So in that we have to publish fully one day, or else like that we have to serve that Google that these are the topics fully I written. So one day fully publish that whole data, or else we need to publish one by day, day by one to like that only. How is that Koray perform like that?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
So in traditional SEO, like we can publish if you, let's say like I am creating that blog for 5 months for a month, 5 blogs. So there is a 5 blogs, two blogs for every week like that. So that is a traditional. So that Koreys I don't know like.
okay. So first, what you have to do, check your
Mm,
competitors.
mm,
Check your competitor how frequently they are publishing. How you can check your competitor? Just go to their sitemap and check the last modification date. So which means that they are
yeah,
always they
yeah.
are updating. So let's say check the
Mm,
last 6 months. From the last 6 months, let's say if they are, for example, if you are, let's say, if you have, let's say, main competitor. So let's say Wikipedia is not our competitor. Okay. Let's
mm,
say maybe this one is also not our competitor. Maybe the other website, let's say, simply learn. So maybe this one is our
mm,
competitor. So you have to check. You have to let's say check your all of competitors and check, let's say, if for example every competitor is, let's say, updating 10 articles, let's say, per month. Okay, let's say if you have
mm,
5 or 10 competitors, some are updating 5 articles, some are, let's say, 10 articles, some are 20 articles, but every competitor is updating 10 articles per month. Okay, and let's
mm.
say right now it is January. Okay, and we have a update coming in March, and let's say somewhere in, let's say, I think August or September. Okay,
Mm,
so what you have to do, you have to exceed the quality. Again, the quality threshold one, again, if you check that one you will understand more. But basically you cover the topic in more detail, in more granular way, in a more expert way. And also you have to exceed the publication frequency. So if you have huge amount of article, try to exceed this one. For example, try to publish, let's say, 15 articles per month if you have budget. Okay, and try
mm,
to update the article from one update to another update, because if from one update to another update, let's say between two updates, if your website is more quality and more, let's say, active in the core update, so you will be in the attention of the Google will spend time on your website, and if Google spend times, they will find articles, and they will try to understand your content. So again, if you are updating
okay.
the article, so again, Google will serve you in the search index, in the SERP. And if Google is serving you, they will get historical data. And if they are getting historical data, if it is positive, it will be multiplied after an update. So this is about the publication frequency, that do not create a random thing. Again, as I said in the early, that do not create a conceptual map. Everything come from the query, and everything come from, let's say, competition, let's say, from the search engine. So again, the
Okay, fine.
if your competitors are
I
publishing, let's say, 50 articles per month, so this
mm,
is a very huge, let's say, and you don't have these type of thing. So again,
mm,
understand the three things, three principle: vastness, depth, momentum.
momentum.
So if you don't have, let's say, momentum, let's say if you have, let's say, for example, if you have, let's say, 50 articles budget. Okay, but
Mm,
so then, sorry, this one, if you have 50 articles budget, so what you will do, you have to be too much deep. Okay, because you cannot go faster, because if you publish 10 let's say 20 articles per month, so you can go only, let's say 2.5 months. So what you can do,
mm,
you can cover these articles in the most detail and the most comprehensive, in the most, in a really depth way. So then you can outrank your competitor, because big competitor, they are just covering the topic in a very, let's say, small way. Because if you check this one, this is a very big website in the India. You can say that big website, and they are writing about data science, Java, Python, and each and everything. And this website was
mm.
recently hit by brand, what was site reputation abuse. If you know this one, you know about that thing.
Yeah. Site
Site,
reputation policy, right?
yeah, yeah, because they were writing about movies, they were writing about, let's say, games, and they
Mm,
were
mm,
writing
mm.
about each and everything, and
Yeah.
it was de-indexed
So
by
what are
Google.
the core which is that you can't write with it about from that, like not take apart from that. So you need to cover that core entity. What is that? So that is maybe Google like saying that okay, this is that actually they are saying that that is a service based on that service, not like that other thing.
Yeah. And one thing more, that let's say if this website is a very huge website, so they are just
Mm,
giving the basic information, but they are ranking. Why? Because at the start I gave you three things. There are three principles of semantics, technical issue, and branding. So this website has a huge brand. huge brand. Like in India, it's a very huge website. They has also, I think, a very good YouTube channel and very huge brand. So they are not doing semantic SEO and technical SEO properly, but based on the brand power, they are ranking. So if, let's say, if you want to,
Mm-hmm.
let's say shake this brand, or if you want to outrank this brand, so first there are two things. Either you have to create a huge brand from this, so which is very hard because this website is very old. So then you,
Yeah.
if you don't have this thing, then play with the semantics. So these things are there. So let's say if they have written, let's say 50, or let's say 50 facts per let's say page, so try to exceed, let's say give 100 facts per page in a more comprehensive way, in a more let's say uh, perfect way. So then you can outrank this thing. So topical coverage, so, so you cover the topic in a most detailed way, multiply by historical data, which means that wait for the core update, which means that try to invest some times and wait for the Google, and divide by cost of retrieval, which means that make your website cheaper for the Google, which means that cover each and every topic in a more comprehensive way with cheaper costs. So again, cover all the, let's say, basic technical SEO issues, cannibalization, and say 404, let's say for let's say redirects, etc., and try to make your content more uh, informative and more comprehensive, and let's say more authoritative for the user in Google. So this is the main thing. And again, lastly, I would say that you have to update your article. For example, if you create a content brief, and let's say after
Mm.
4 to 5 months that article start to lose the ranking, you have to update it, you
Mm.
have to update the information. So do not try to change, let's say, do not to try to change the title, let's say web designing basics, etc. Try to change the information, try to add new information, try to include, let's say, unique information, recent information, so you will be more relevant. So SEO is not something that you do once and you will, let's say, get results for lifetime. You have to, because if your competitor is let's say updating information, and they are giving more information, and they are updating articles more and more, you are in trouble because
Mm.
you will also do this thing. Some, in some niches, maybe you just write 50 articles and you can rank there for 5 hours because your competitor uh, not, let's say, creating new articles, they are not updating the article, so you are in a safe zone. But if you are in such an industry where, let's say, every time, let's say every hour, not every hour, let's say every week they are publishing 3 to 4 articles, you have to do this thing. For example, in news industry, you cannot, let's say, write, let's say, 10 articles per month, because in news you have to write and you have to publish your website every hour. So that is main thing. If your competitor is updating beautiful thing is that do not let's say forget the concept of quality, and not just about the speed. You know to you need to know about the quality, and let's say the let's say the user satisfaction, and let's say the Google. So these are the things. Again, this will be your topical map, like say research for all the topics. Okay, all the competitors, all the topics based on your learning base. If you don't know, so try to learn something basics about the topic, and again check the SERP, check the tools, check the competitors, and again try to exceed that quality. So this was about the topical map creation.
Okay, man. So, yeah, just chill actually, like speaking like continuously, just okay, relax that. So, I just basically thank you for that. It will be so much deep. Now I understand what is that topical map and create that. So, I think I gathered so much information so that I need to recall myself so that you can send me these files actually in WhatsApp so that we can connect that. I will read it again. And if any doubts, I will ask that to you.
Okay. So basically, yeah, this again, if you know about the traditional SEO, like you say,
Mm.
without semantics, so it's good for you because again, because as I said in the start, that it is the cherry on the cake. So first you have to first you will have the cake, and then you can put the cherry. So if you don't know, if
Mm.
you don't have the cake and then you add cherry, so it is not helpful. So,
Okay.
and again, lastly, I would again say that try to implement, and don't try to, let's say, don't be fair to implement, because let's say if you are saying that I'm not expert, and let's say my
Mm.
competitor is too much expert, so no, because if you are not publishing, and your
mm,
competitor is publishing, so you are losing the sport. So try to exceed the quality, but again try to publish and check the search engine result response. So if the article is not quality, update it, update it, update it. But again, if you are, let's say,
okay.
if your competitor is publishing, let's say, 10 articles that are
Mm,
let's say quality, not quality, but they are publishing, which mean that they are in the what I can say, that are triggering the Google to check their articles, and you are just publishing one article per month. So this is not also something you have to do. You have to publish something good article, then you have to understand the search engine response based on the article. So these
okay.
are the things. Yeah, and I said
Sure.
that
Man.
don't fear to implement it and
Mm,
check rankings, and implement it, change ranking, make changes. And again, as I said, that these all things are not static. Sometime you will add an article and the Google will not, let's say, rank it. So you will have to find the difference. What is the main issue? Let's say you will either remove some section, either you will, let's say, move some section from the bottom to the top, from the top to the bottom. So basically the semantic content network is, let's say, dynamic in nature. You don't have to publish one article and you can say that this is the, let's say, the verse of, let's say, Bible. This topic cannot be changed. So you have to change it based on the user perception, based on the, let's say, demand. And again, there is a lot much more to say, but lastly I would give an example. One of my friend, he was working on a project and we were in a meeting. So there was an article which was ranking very good, and recently that website, that topic was not ranking very well. Let's say that let's say article was, let's say, de-index, not de-index, but the traffic was getting down. So when we checked
mm,
that article, so in that
mm,
article there was a topic which has very low
mm,
search volume when we were creating the brief. But after, let's say,
mm.
4 months, that topics became trendy. So everyone tried to everyone created a new article about that topic. But that website, yeah, we didn't have an article. So what was there, because we didn't have an article and we have covered two topics in one article, which was not, let's say, liked by the Google. For example, cancer addiction and cancer treatment. For example,
Mm,
let's say in October, everyone was covering, let's say, in one article. But after, let's say,
mm,
in January, cancer addiction and, let's say, cancer treatment, they are different
mm.
topics. It means that I
Yeah.
didn't write about cancer treatment, so I am losing the ranking. So when that
Mm,
person search for these things, so the historical data was positive, but
mm.
the, let's say, the topic has changed, the brand was powerful, but the volume of the keyword has, let's say, increased tremendously. It was something in the, let's say,
Okay.
from, let's say, 200 to, let's say, I think 1.5k. So if the trend is increased, so again, as I said you,
Mm.
if the volume is increased, the Google is more, let's say, cautious about that query, that topic. So these things are not static. You have to change it dynamically. You have to be active on the project, and yeah, these things.
Okay, man. So it will be like so much information for me. So thanks a lot. It will be like I will be starting work from that. So what I projects are working. I try to implement this topical map and start creating and researching about that. Based on that, you send that. So just you can send me that what we discussed actually, that notepad and like that sheet and the things showed that, right. So that it just you can send that. I will try to follow that things actually, follow your way path actually. So thank you for that. And if you have a time like that before or this week free, that we can sit with that like like that way we create a topical map, right. So about that semantic content brief also, we one day we can you can teach us once if you want.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah,
did not know. I know you. I don't know. I don't want to more complicated for you like that actually. So this will be, and so I will be things like that. I that open that what is that topical map and what is the core section and router section. I understand. So what are that central entity and source contact, that is fully I understand. So what are that moment and vaccinus, that is that fully I understand. What is that meaning that, and what about the research also, I okay, I will be like I'm doing the like that. So from that next maybe we session, maybe like we can talk about that more research and creating that content brief. So content brief only we need to, because we without that content brief we can't include that topic, right. So that, and we can't write also. So once it will be fine, right, we can move on that. That is only a topic. So then fully clear, I will be starting my own.
yeah. And
So
yeah. yeah, definitely. We can, let's say, create, let's say, conduct a new session based on that. And just for your information, I was just thinking that we will have a session like 20 to 30 minutes, and
Yeah, it will
we
be around
extended 2
2
hours,
hours
so
maybe.
it's too much.
I
But
don't know. Like,
I didn't know about the time because I was just explaining because these things you need to explain all these things, and you need to, you cannot, let's say, these are not just simple spoon feeding type of thing. You have to understand all the theory, and then you can implement all these things, and then you can understand
sure.
how this thing work and how this thing not work. So yeah,
Okay. So that is I fully understand actually. Like thanks for that. Thank you very much. So thank you for spending time for me. So it will be more grateful for you actually. So because I tried many people like to I researched many people like that Korea's framework and watched nearly 2 years. I can't do anything actually. So from that I can do that thing actually. Like I will be trying maybe for that. So I will be trying some things. I know that core frame was like around 1 year or 1.5 years, but I did not. I tried my many failures. Just I found a you that is maybe that's God grace. I don't know.
yeah,
So
it's
thank
fine.
you for
Again, always welcome, and try to learn things, and try to, again, try to implement things, and then you will learn. Like, just not just understanding the theory. You have to make your
mm,
ability from the in the practice thing, and then you can understand all these things. So yeah,
sure. Like we will have some working that right. So I will send that to my if any creating that topical map also I will just send that. So just you can make that changes or any suggestions you can tell that based on that I can make I can learn something so that. So if you need any actually like any help also you can ask that. So I will help you with that.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, brother.
Sure, brother. So are you having lunch?
Okay.
Sorry, it takes time.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so sorry for delaying your lunch. I don't know that you did
No,
not
no, no,
eat.
man. I'm asking about your lunch actually. I'm not. So I will
No,
be
no, no.
fully. I don't have
I'm
that.
done, so it's fine.
Okay,
So it was
fine.
a
So that.
nice meeting you. Nice meeting with you, and next time, inshallah, we can create a new session and let's say some more practical stuff. So I think it's fine for now, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Thanks. It's fine for now. For your concern, I'm taking fine actually. Yeah, almost you're making 2 hours, man. I can't believe that you're making that 2 hours. So thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Always welcome,
it's
brother.
really great.
Always.
Yeah, yeah. So it will be can we can end up with.
Yeah.
So you can have some water also. I can have some food also. Like
Okay,
I
okay,
don't
okay.
want it will be like complicated. So thanks.
All right,
Okay,
brother.
man. So
Okay, bro.
yeah, yeah.
See
Okay,
you.
bro. Thanks.
Okay,
Thank you
see
very
you.
much. Yes, see you. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.